Is this thing on? Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Fornication. For an occasion such as this, I'd like to thank you all for coming to help us celebrate the marriage of the beautiful and talented Anna and Aidan. Now, I promise to keep this brief, as I'm sure you're all as intrigued as I am to see the first dance. I mean, I always knew he was lazy, but he seems to have gone to some rather extreme lengths this time just to get out of standing up. With this in mind, I've manufactured some extremely realistic masks, which I'll be handing out later, so that any kind volunteers can step up, take on the role of Aidan, and help Anna to have a proper first dance with their new husband. Sort of. Now, I'm here today representing the category of Best Man. It is a great but undeserved honour, as I am by no means the best man here today, although I would like to think that I'm at least in the running for Best Mat. The real best man here today is, of course, my good friend Mr. Aidan Jones. I've been friends with Aidan since we were at nursery school together, and I spent a great deal of my childhood growing up on the mean streets of Kidderminster with the Jones boys. In between fighting with Owen and fighting with Reese, I grew to think of the Joneses as my second family and Aidan as the brother that I never had. So when Aidan told me he was getting married and he wanted me to be his best man, I was honoured, and of course I did what any brother would do. I said, "Oh, can't Owen do it?" Of course I jest. Sort of. Aidan is my oldest friend, and I was honoured that he would ask me to be his best man and support him on such an important day. So I'll do my best to surpass expectations in the hope that he will let me do it again at his next wedding. Let me start by thanking Mr. and Mrs. White for allowing us all to share in this very important occasion in their lives, the marriage of their lovely daughter, Anna. I'd also like to thank Aidan for his kind words on behalf of all of our lovely bridesmaids. I'm sure you will agree, they all look beautiful and have done a fantastic job today. And finally, I would like to thank the ushers for at least turning up sober. Now, I was planning on filling my speech with tales of debauchery and embarrassing moments from our Lanzarote surf stag do extravaganza, but thanks to a combination of a Reebok climbing wall and the basic effects of gravity, we've had to postpone the trip until later in the year. So if you could all just please wait patiently for 6 to 8 months, I'll finish my speech then. Aidan first met Anna way back in those long, hot summer days of 2005, and they immediately got on like a house on fire. But the fairy tale would have to wait, as just a few weeks later they were separated by thousands of miles, and Aidan had to go to India to work for 3 months. It seemed that fate was against them, as just days after his return, Anna jetted off, and this time to the US for a road trip of epic proportions. And when they were finally reunited on the same continent, they could begin their courtship proper. As time passed, they grew closer, and their love began to bloom. The travel bug didn't leave them for long though, and they were soon planning a trip around the world, but this time together. They travelled far and wide, visiting the world's most amazing cities and beautiful locations, and all the while Aidan had a plan up his sleeve. He would have to wait for just the right place and pick his moment perfectly. Inspired by the beautiful, temperate and luxurious surroundings, Aidan finally got down on one knee and said those magic words to the lady that he loves. Here, in deepest Siberia. Well, it is one way of getting out of taking Anna on a romantic anniversary trip. Now, Aidan and Anna begin their next adventure together into the world of married life, and I would like to be the first to wish them a long and happy journey.